So let's have a look at the Ableton Scale tool, which is available in Ableton 11 and up. The Scale tool is going to completely revolutionize the way that people interact with Ableton, in my opinion, and especially if you're not, kind of clued up with music theory, or maybe you know a bit, but you're not entirely confident with playing notes or notes that are harmonically related to one another. So if you struggle with that side of things, it's really, really going to help. I think it's a fantastic tool to get more people into music theory as well. Music theory, I would know quite a bit about it, but not all of it at any great length. And I do struggle with remembering scales. And scales is essentially a collection of notes that work well together. So if you struggle kind of getting notes that work together harmonically, this is definitely something that you should check out in the new version of Ableton. As of this tutorial, it's not released. I'm using a beta version, but once it is released, it'll be very, very similar, if not the exact same. So this should definitely help you with getting your head around that. And essentially, I'm going to just pop over now to Ableton, give you an example of what the scale tool is, what it looks like, and how you might want to use it within your music production. So let's have a look at Ableton. So here is a quick example. First of all, I basically have a synth here on the left-hand side, and it's playing through a C major scale. There's 3 different variations. If you're not sure what that is, I'll go through that now in a second. And then we have a G minor chord progression as well. So essentially, we'll look at the C major one first of all. As I say, there's 3 different versions. The first version is I'm playing 3 chords. I'm playing or 2 chords, sorry, and within each chord there is 3 notes. So there's C, F, and A. So let's have a listen to those separately. And then A, D, F, right? So what I'm going to do is explain how I've selected these notes. So say I wouldn't be too confident in knowing exactly which notes are harmonically related together. If that was the case, I would struggle maybe to put 3 notes together. I might, get there eventually, but it takes a bit of time. Well, essentially what the scale tool does is it allows you to filter out the notes that are not harmonically related to one another. So a scale is a collection of notes that work together, right? So if we use a scale tool, what this does is it filters out the notes that aren't in a particular scale of your choosing. So if we look, we select the scale button, which is here, and then we have C major. So this is a C major scale. And if I just unfold this a wee second, if you can see here, on the piano roll and within the MIDI editor window, you can actually see that there's sections highlighted, and that's basically highlighting the notes that are within the C major scale. Now, if I was to change that to D major scale, it would change which notes are highlighted. So it's basically filtering out the notes for you that might not work or likely won't work within the scale that you want to make music within. Now, here's another thing. If you're not sure what scale to start off with, that's fine. Experiment and see which one you like most. The easiest scale to start off with would be the C major scale. So if you're completely new to this, maybe start off with the C major scale. It's essentially all of the white notes. So all of the white notes and none of the black notes, right? That would be your C major scale. So that's something to be aware of. And again, it's just a fantastic tool to get you into making music that's harmonically related. And it just, if you're looking to make chords and nice pads and textures, this is going to help you so much. Okay, so again, it's one of the best things that Ableton has put into their software. It's going to open up music to loads more people. It's going to make people get into music theory a lot more. It can't be a bad thing. Okay, so I'm going to play some of these now so you can hear them, and I just have a drum track here playing alongside them as well, just to have some type of reference. So let's play the first one. Okay, now if we have a look at what's going on here, we can actually filter this even more. If I press the scale button, it now only shows you the notes that are within the scale. So it filters out the notes that aren't within the scale. It just doesn't show you them within the piano roll. So this makes it easier again. Now, if we have a look here, we have the root note, which is C, and that's highlighted at every octave. So that makes things much easier as well. So you remember where you are. Very, very good. Very interesting. So let's move on to the next one. this is a slightly more complex set of notes, chord progression. So I have the scale button selected here again on this one. If I unselect it, you can see all of the notes, but the ones within the scale are highlighted, or else you can just get rid of them, like so. This is an easier way of working, in my opinion. You can also fold as you normally would. So this is now folding out or filtering out the notes that are not being used by me. Okay, let's move on to the next one. This is all the same scale. This is all the C major scale, but a different chord progression. So what is a chord progression? Well, think of any progression. You're moving from one place to another. You're usually moving forward. So this is one progression from here to here, and then from here to here, and then from here to here. So that's your progression. So yeah, very simple and straightforward. So let's try another key. So we're not, or another scale, I should say. So this is a G minor scale, which is different from the others, but it's just a different collection of notes that work together. So let's have a listen to that. Different rhythm as well, of course. So the scale tool helps you with pitch, but you also have rhythm as well. That's a different thing. Rhythm is, you know, when are you making changes? How often are these changes coming in? It's the, you know, like, you know, this is a rhythm, right? This is a different rhythm. Do you know what I mean? So you have these two different things. Pitch and rhythm are the two main building blocks of anything that you're going to do within the likes of Ableton or music in general, I guess. So the scale tool allows you to work with pitch, and it just makes that process much easier and much more enjoyable. And as I say, it's definitely going to help you with your music theory. So there's a few other things that are worth mentioning. So I'm going to just double click here and open up a new MIDI clip, and I'm just going to go for the C major scale again. I'm going to fold. What I'm going to do this time is I'm going to play in some notes. So I'm going to turn on the other camera so you can see this. Basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to play in some notes, right? So I need to just turn on and arm that track. Okay, so there's a C major triad. Now, very good tool to use when you're doing this would be if you turn on your headphones here, you'll then see on the piano roll 3 blue dots. This is basically telling you that you can now start putting in these notes. The way that I do this is by using the arrow on my keyboard. So if I hold down the note, and you have to make sure your headphones are turned on to do this. Oh, let's try it again. If I get my keys on. I have no idea why that's not working. Let's try that again. This is so weird. Normally what happens is it actually allows you to, let's just try it over here. There we go. So weird. Okay, not too sure. Anyway, so I've got those notes in there, and the lovely thing about this is you can just basically play a note like so, and then it puts the notes in for you by just pressing the arrows on your keyboard. So if I want to go from there now, maybe to here. So if I click on this section now and just use the arrows like so, it gets me where I want to go much quicker. Maybe here. Okay, I might change this last one, but we'll see. Let's have a listen to this now. So it's a quick way to input notes if you'd rather play some of these notes in via a MIDI keyboard. So I think that's really important too. Lots of different ways to kind of work with this. Oh, let's just use the right one maybe. So you get the idea. It's a very quick way of doing that. And if you were to just double click on another clip slot, you can see it defaults to the C major scale again. You can actually just go in and change that or knock it off completely if you like. But that's a really good way for you not to have to continually do it every time you put up a new MIDI clip. So the only other thing that I want to mention then as well is within your piano roll, you'll have the names of the notes. Now, just be aware as well that like for example, F sharp can be G flat. For example, here, if we look at F sharp, it's mentioned as F sharp, but you can go in and now actually change that and actually highlight that here. So if you wanted to kind of be mentioned as a sharp or a or auto, it'll just do things automatically, or else you can go sharps, flats, or sharps and flats. I can actually have both in there, so now you can see that is F sharp and also G flat. So that's important as well, because sometimes if you're trying to follow a particular score or something like that, and you look at it with an Ableton, it can be a bit confusing, especially if you're new to music theory as well. So having both of them in there can be quite helpful. You just right click on the piano roll, or else you can just have it set to auto if you like as well. Just something to be aware of. It's an extra wee tool that you can use. So I think that's pretty much everything that I wanted to cover in this quick tutorial. Hopefully that was helpful, and there's loads more that Ableton 11 has, and it's just going to make life much easier for anyone that uses Ableton on a daily basis. So I hope you enjoy, and I'll see you in the next tutorial. Thank you.